Let's just be real, real, be real, real. Let's just be real.
Hey guys, it's Smalls. Welcome to episode 64. Please advise, Christina, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really, really good. I'm actually the best I've ever been in my life, probably. No, I'm not, but I'm doing pretty well.
I feel like you're probably having a better week than Drake even.
By the way, I don't understand what's funny about the Hotline Bling video. Like, I watched it today and I was like, is this funny? Because this is exactly what it should be. Like, it's exactly what I expect from him. And I think it's perfect.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was why.
Yeah, and it's also just kind of ridiculous in terms of like it's just perfectly.
I feel the dancing.
It's like perfect for memes, and that's perfect for Drake. He's just trolling the internet with that video.
Yeah. I don't like the beard though. The beard is real gross to me. It's really gross to me. I'm not a fan of those types of beards. Yeah, like I don't like that lower. You got to go full beard. I don't like just the lower beard. Yeah. I'm not same reason I'm not into mustaches. I think partial facial hair is gross. It's really gross.
My dad has a mustache.
I like it on your dad though.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
Hispanic men can wear mustaches.
Can have mustaches. Like once someone's a dad, I guess no one's really like thinking about them sexually anymore, and they can have a mustache. I'm sure your mother thinks about your father sexually, but I'm not going to do that to you.
No, she does.
I do want to say that I did something really dangerous last night.
What?
I don't take Ambien, but I take something called it's a sleep medicine, and it's supposedly like not that intense, but it has a pretty strong effect on me. And I walked to Pinkberry in my sleep last night, but like I was awake, but I was like, I'm asleep. And I ordered a large plain with Captain Crunch and strawberries. And then I walked home and I ate it. And then I just went and I laid down. Went to sleep.
So you took an Ambien last night?
No, it's my regular. It has like an Ambien like effect on me.
Wow.
Like the things that I just wanted to clarify that it's not. I just wanted to clarify it's not Ambien because typically that's what people, and I can't fuck with that. I would be so addicted to Ambien. I already can't sleep. But it was great. I mean, it was a little sad for me, and that I'm a very lucid dreamer, so I can also know like when I'm being judged in my sleep. And I knew I was sleepwalking. I was embarrassed because I just was visibly asleep. Like I just looked like an asleep person. My eyes were very heavy. I either like to sleep or like on crazy drugs, and so. I just felt really judged at Pinkberry, and like I was really embarrassed because I was like, no one else is here doing this. I'm the only person who thinks it's appropriate to be here at 11:30 on a Friday night alone, sleeping.
Captain Crunch, Pinkberry yogurt.
But it's the best. Captain Crunch is the best Pinkberry. I mean, it's the best Pinkberry topping. It's kind of the only one, really, as far as I'm concerned.
I've never actually had Captain Crunch or Captain Crunch.
Don't call it that. It's Captain. We can call it Captain. That's more, I feel, respectable. Our guest today is Scotty Landis. He's a writer on the show Workaholics. Hi, Scotty.
Hi.
Thanks for coming here today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So we first met a few years back because you worked on a show that was starring Whitney Cummings.
That's right.
Love You Mean It. It was her talk show. And
you
I was
were a
on it
guest.
a few times. But also my best friend Ed was... I guess your writer's assistant?
Who's the writer's assistant? Yeah.
And he you're one of his fave people.
That's great. That's a huge compliment.
And I enjoy hanging out with you too. I think you are one of the few people I genuinely respect. And I know why. It's because I think you're a nice person and I think you're very smart. But I actually realized that probably today when I was trying to think about contextually how's Scotty coming on the show. I was like, oh, I actually really respect him, and I can't really say that about many people.
Well, thanks. That's nice.
That makes me sound like a negative person.
No, I'll take it.
Don't take it from yourself. So it's kind of our Halloween episode.
Great,
which is exciting. Are you excited for Halloween?
Can't wait.
Do you know what you're gonna be?
I'm going to be Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, good.
Yeah, when people take pictures with me, they can hold up my head and my arms and I'll slouch over with them. Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to be the mom from Goodnight Mommy.
Oh, yeah?
And Ed's going to be one of the twins.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
very excited.
Oh, that's great.
It's like a bandage-heavy outfit. It's mostly facial bandage.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I got some sort of like explorer looking, you know, she dressed very European. It's all okay. Did you see it?
No.
It's the most fucked up movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, good. Then I'll definitely watch it.
It was, Ed and I went together. Did I talk about Good Night Mommy on this podcast already?
Yes.
Okay. It's really fucked up. So, yeah, everyone should see it.
I'm going to look it up.
It's a foreign film. It's about these, like, you know, it's about a mom being it's a torture movie.
Oh, fun.
Did you I meant to ask you this. Did you at any point like feel faint during the movie?
No.
Okay, so it wasn't like a gross torture porny kind of scary movie because I know you're very sensitive to that.
Torture porn really bothers me, but
Yeah.
that for some reason this type of movie doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But, like, for some reason when it's in a sexual, I guess actually for a very good reason, when it's in a sexual setting, it makes me incredibly uncomfortable.
I just remember that time we went to see For Color Girls and you almost fainted.
I fainted. I walked out of them because, okay, so Macy Gray gives an abortion, an illegal abortion to a 16-year-old girl. And
Sure.
like, it's Macy Gray's voice narrating over like
a back alley abortion.
Rusty egg beaters. Like, why is there a rusty egg beater in the room?
No.
Like, why is there, like, it's just Macy Gray's, like, almost like doing like a soliloquy of sorts, like, over like a montage of rusty instruments. And like, you hear this girl crying. And, yeah, it made me pass out. And all I could think is afterwards, I was like, everyone, or actually when it was happening, was everyone here thinks I just had an abortion. Everyone.
Right.
Like,
So you were deeply touched and had to get out of there.
No, all I kept is because, you know, when like you see someone get kicked in the nuts, you must feel like a feeling in your stomach, a residual pain. All I was thinking of was rusty instruments in my uterus. And I'm sorry, that's enough to make a girl want to pass out. Those are very sensitive parts.
That seems like the perfect scene to do like a supercut YouTube video with her Gap holiday commercials from back in the day. Just that would be perfect.
That's genius. You should probably, I think that's...
I got to learn to edit better. I think like my friends that put that kind of thing together, I'm like, yeah, that would be... But then I would spend too much time doing it. Right.
That was so hot for a while. Do you remember like back in early 2000 or mid 2000s, that was all you really needed to learn how to do was edit a fake trailer?
Yeah. And then you got a comedy job and you're on your way.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm missing a clothing swap right now. Apologies to those people. It's a charity thing. I feel like an asshole. I didn't even tell them I wasn't coming. And I don't think they care, but I just feel bad because I don't think that's good for my name to not come to things. Scotty, we have a game that we play here called Do You Fear That? It's actually probably perfect for this Halloween episode.
Yes.
It's super spooky. So I'm going to ask you 50 fears, and the answers are yes or no, or you can elaborate.
Okay.
And, you know, just like, don't do the guy thing where you think about it on a surface level and you're like, oh no, that doesn't scare me. Like, really put yourself in that position.
I'm open.
I find our straight male guests have a really difficult time with that.
I'm wide open. Let's do it.
You're a straight man. We should point that out. That's we like to kind of give some stats. How old are you? Do you mind if I ask?
I'm 34.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Being naked in front of someone who's angry with you.
No.
Deep space.
Yes.
Fire.
Yes.
Food in countries you've never been to.
Yes.
The dark.
No.
Unexpectedly seeing a naked adult.
Not at all. That would be great. That's great.
Really?
Yeah, love that.
You would definitely laugh no matter what, or like be happy.
Yeah, I lived in New York for 8 years. Always wanted to look out a window and see a naked person in another window. And then never happened. Drove cross country with my brother-in-law, was unloading his car, looked up and saw a naked person in a window, and I was thrilled.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's excellent. Yeah, definitely not scared of that at all.
Proud of you. Clowns?
No.
Sleeping alone?
Definitely not.
Getting caught talking to yourself in the car?
No.
Little person porn?
That would be haunting.
Germs?
No.
Me neither.
No, I don't give a shit.
Like, don't get it.
No.
I like, kind of don't get the hype on germs.
It's just like, it's gross, and if you feel like you can see every single like gross thing
but what if it's not
inside of your body, but you don't think like that.
But we're already covered in them.
Now I don't want to leave the house.
You know what I'm afraid of? Foreign germs. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit of a xenophobe about foreign germs. Like, I can't handle English germs. Like British germs freak me out. Like I'm not getting super gonorrhea. Like I can't. A strain that's not common here is not something I'm interested in. I don't want any like Taiwanese swamp shit. Like I don't want any like you go swimming in a weird Asian pond and you come out like I don't know with a flesh-eating disease. Not interested.
I never want to swim in a lake because you always hear about those like little bacterial infections like that eat your flesh.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
every day.
Never. Yeah.
Yeah.
I swallowed a bunch of river water once and got real sick. I was a curious child. I got super sick. It was the worst day ever. Saying a new word out loud for the first time.
Oh, maybe. Sure. Yes.
The idea that you might be the only person in your friend group who doesn't understand the movie you just saw.
No.
First dates.
Not at all.
Finding out that you've been suffering from a severe mental illness your entire life.
No.
Wait, back it up. Why don't you fear first dates?
They're low stakes. Second dates are such higher stakes than first dates.
Okay. What's your like go-to date thing?
Lately it's just I will meet somebody for a drink, and then if it's a good drink, we'll continue on to, go to dinner or whatever, or continue drinking. And then like the second date, I'll try to do something better than just going to dinner. But yeah.
Do you make reservations?
Yes, I pick people up, which I really like because in New York that never happened. So it's so fun to be like, I'll pick you. I get off work at 6. I'll pick you up at 7:30. We'll go to dinner at 8.
That is exactly right. You got to pick the girl up and you got to make a fucking reservation. I don't like it when I get to some place and it's fucking closed and the guy's like, oh, I didn't know. That's so young to me. It's the most unattractive thing. It's
easier to do it in a city like LA because it's such a car city. It's harder to do in New York because it doesn't make sense to go like uptown just to go into a different borough, just to go back into the city. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. No, first dates they don't bother me at all. But if I kind of like somebody, then the second date stakes get raised, and that's a little more exciting.
Well, what's that, like mini golf?
Oh, God. Mini golf. Mini anything.
Yeah, you take them to do a ton of small things.
Just small things so I look taller.
Watching mole grow on nature shows?
No.
What you'll see when you look in the mirror?
Now? Currently?
No, at any given time.
No, I'm okay.
Lena Dunham's success?
No.
Dancing in public?
No, I'll dance.
Thank you for laughing at that. A lot of people are like, no, you go, girl. And I'm like, it's kind of a funny question because the only people that like actually take that seriously probably do think about it.
Yeah.
Singing in public.
No, she's great. Good for her.
Singing in public.
Singing in public, yeah, I would be scared of that.
Missing out on events or parties?
No, don't care.
Having to go to events or parties?
No, I like to go.
You like to go. I see you at
see
parties.
Me out. Yeah, I show up. Good invitation, I show up.
Yeah. That you're a fraud?
No.
That no one would ever romantically love you if your face got burned off with acid?
Yes.
Mispronouncing someone's name every time you see them and never being corrected?
Wow. Yeah, that is a fear. I would hate to do that.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
That would be really bad. I know somebody that continues to do that to somebody they've known for like 7 years.
Wait, and like no one tells them?
Yeah, or they just can't say it. It's so weird, but like it's this dude, and then the girl's name is Shanali.
Okay. I
don't think she'll listen, but she's very nice. And he keeps saying Shanali, and it's been forever. And I like heard him at a wedding recently. He was like, "Hello, Shanali," and I was like, "Come on!" And she's too nice to be like, "Fucking stop."
Is he important?
He is not important.
That's dark.
He's sub her level of importance. So,
ooh,
it's really weird.
It doesn't sound like you're a fan of this guy.
He's weird. He switches his own name a lot too, so he's an interesting guy.
Is he a creative or is he on the executive side?
I think he is. He's a creative. Yeah.
Cool. Spending a week in Times Square.
Yeah, that would suck. Yes.
Contracting an STD.
Yes.
Blindly reaching into a bag of jelly beans and putting one in your mouth without looking at it.
No.
Going through TSA.
No.
Needles.
Yes.
What's in tap water?
No.
Spending a month or more with your family and only your family.
Yes. That'd be hard.
Yeah.
I love them, but 72 hours. Did we talk about this before? Like within 3 days, I'm good to go, and I like them all completely.
I'm exactly the same. I have a 4-day rule.
Yeah.
And that's just, I love them, but it's too much. And my mom always pushes it on the reverse. She tries to come out here for 2 weeks, and it's always like, I bought the ticket and this was the best time. And I'm like, come
2
on,
weeks. That's
you
a
crazy
lot.
monster. You know that there was another time you could have booked this that was not 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's like after 5 days, it's just a lot.
And I don't like a staying with me moment.
Yeah.
So, because especially my mom is so close to me and I love her. She wants to stay in my bed with me. She's like, really loves me in that way. And it's just too much for me. I am her equal and opposite person. And that, like, I just am, for every part of her that wants to wrap her arms around me, I like really don't want to be hugged.
I need breaks. Like I could do 3 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, but I need days just totally alone to be left alone.
Absolutely.
And so, 72 hours I start scratching the walls.
I usually wind up just camping out in my room and pouting if I'm there for longer. And then I feel very guilty about that. Like I think my younger sister is a little bit of, they're all younger than me. I think they're all a little bit afraid of me because like day 4, I turn into a wench. Like, it's just...
and you end up drinking a lot and doing all those things just to kind of ease.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm like a full blown alcoholic because there's a nonstop supply of wine at my parents' house.
Yeah, it's great.
So, and my stepdad, God bless him, like if I drink all the wine in the house, he just goes and gets more.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, that's a sign that we're out of wine.
No.
Nope. He's just like, oh, Malster, you need more wine? Okay. So yeah, it's just, but it's gluttonous when I'm
Yes,
home.
a month would be scary, yes.
Sunday nights.
No.
That you have bad body odor or breath and no one knows how to tell you.
No.
Commitment.
Yeah.
Becoming homeless.
No, not at all.
Change.
No.
Wait, regarding commitment, do you think you're actually afraid of commitment or committing to the wrong person?
That's maybe both. Right now, I'm a little afraid of commitment just because I feel like I don't have time for a full-on relationship, so I just don't want to be a dick to anybody.
But, you find it when you want to.
That's true, too.
I mean...
Yeah, when it's the right person.
True.
Yeah, then it becomes the right time.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of commitment in general. Like, I don't want to be a single dude forever.
Yeah, but I've had boyfriends that I only want to see once a week, to be honest. Yeah. And that's usually not good.
No.
Like, it's like, I'll see you on Saturday night and just Saturday night.
It's been like most of my relationships.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. I always get into those relationships and I need to just, or it goes the other way. And I'm like, how do you improve upon 7 nights a week? Like, we just started dating when I'm supposed to move in with you, meet your parents and shit. Crazy. Change.
No.
Accidentally falling in love with a stripper or sex worker.
No. That'd be funny.
Vomiting.
No.
Bugs.
Definitely no.
Being fisted.
Yes.
Unusually good-looking people.
Do they scare me? No, I don't think so.
The dentist.
Yeah, I don't like the dentist.
Death.
No, I don't think about death. I'm probably scared of it. Like, if you pointed a gun at me, I'd be scared.
I'm scared of, like, how I would die, not actual dying.
But I'm not worried about, like, getting older and dying. I don't think about that.
Right. Crying in public.
No.
Being with a woman who's crying in public.
Nope.
Being arrested for a murder that you didn't commit.
Yes.
Heights.
Maybe now, so maybe.
The idea that your worst enemy might be right about you.
Yes.
Birds.
No.
All right, cool.
All right.
That was Do You Fear That?
Yeah.
I feel like we have a pretty solid understanding of your psychology now.
I hope so.
Would you like to advise the masses?
Oh, I'd love to help.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, Mom. Me here, wondering how to gracefully handle people initiating conversations that you prefer not to have. Specifically, people from the past, bringing up a memory that is painful to revisit. The last time this happened, I was at a club when I hear my name being called from behind me. This guy gets my attention, confirms that I am who he thinks I am and where I graduated high school, then reminds me of his name and that he was friends with the guy I had dated. Anyway, from what I remember of that interaction, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. What an awful time to know me. High school was the worst, right?" And laughed and continued dancing. I didn't try to remember who this guy was and didn't want him to know how or what I'm doing these days. And I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and maybe he just wanted to say, hi, I remember you. We're here tonight. What a wonderful evening. Cool to see you. But I'm 30, and I have enough friends and a quality boyfriend, satisfying job, and I'm really proud of the life that I established for myself. The ex that he mentions is a guy who treated me like shit. Everything from negging to cyberbullying and pretty much who I credit the beginning of unhealthy relationship patterns. I've since been able to recognize those red flags and shut those down quickly. Plus, I've done a lot of work on myself to prevent attracting guys from even attempting to pull off that crap behavior. This type of situation happens often enough, being that I live in the major city of the suburb I grew up in. I'm approachable and open to nostalgia talk, but sometimes, especially some memories, I just can't go there. Why do you think people do the, hey, I know you from so-and-so bit, and what's a girl to do when you get in these conversations and have no effing clue who is talking to you? Humor and politeness is clearly the way I go. Anywhere from being like, whoa, am I being served papers, to I'm trying to place you. Remind me where we met? Please advise.
Okay. We were just talking about how we're not, because I actually was like, did she ask 2 questions or is this all one question? Okay.
Right.
The first question was, and I noted it and I actually couldn't really think beyond it because I was stuck there. How do you gracefully deal with someone who approaches you in public and says like, hey, we have this mutual, and that mutual is a very sore subject for you, and you not only do you not want to deal with the person you're talking to, but it upsets you to talk about them. And I don't know, it sounds like you handled it really well. What a good time you put it on you. Your second question, though, which was how do you deal with people walking up to you in public? Girl, it's kind of like your point of view is kind of socially maladjusted.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think she's also saying that like she lives in the town that she grew up in, so this is kind of happening all the time to her.
Okay, then move.
Yeah, or just, if you don't need more friends, just be polite and move on. Like, to say like high school is a weird time for me and then go back to dancing's cool. You don't need to think about that further.
It's not weird to see someone you know in public and acknowledge them.
No,
like that's
not at
so
all.
You have to stop looking at like, why do people think it's okay to walk up to you and say, hey, what's up?
Sure.
That's not weird.
No.
That's kind of how people are socialized. So you're supposed to do that.
Yeah, and especially if he really did know who she was and it wasn't just like, don't we know each other? Aren't you the...
Yeah.
He knew exactly who she was.
Here's my question about that, because there's times where situations like this could be a real mindfuck where the person's purposely bringing this up to you knowing full well that they're just trying to like emotionally manipulate you to spin out.
Oh, yeah. That's new to me too.
Oh.
Oh, you know what?
That's what I always think of those people. Maybe I'm just like so cynical. I'm like, oh, you're purposely trying to do this to me?
I figured something out. I have a new thing I did. I pulled this the other night, and Ed thinks it's brilliant. Someone said to me, hey, don't you know this girl? And I do know her, and I fucking hate her guts because she's been terrible to me.
I hate her too. Fuck her.
She's awful. Ed hates her too. And so she was like, don't you know this girl? And I just was like, I don't know that name. And she was like, no, I know you know. I was like, no, never heard that name. and just like, I just was completely dismissive about it, pretended I'd never heard the name. And you know what? Nothing bad can come from that because I didn't say anything mean about her. All I did was deny her existence. And I think that denying someone's existence can be pretty powerful.
Sure.
And a nice defense mechanism because then you're not caught saying anything, but you kind of get to do a little fuck you.
Yeah. I don't think the second part of her question is just, he seemed probably like a nice guy that was trying to make a connection with somebody he knew since high school. That's no big deal.
Do you ever like a casual fuck you like that? Like when you realize you have an opportunity to answer something gracefully, but then no,
I always am overly polite. I think I take the highest roads possible, so I don't ever feel guilty.
That's good.
Yeah, I try to. It's hard, but yeah,
I can be pretty irrational. I mean, I don't ever like to make someone feel like an asshole or feel bad, but if I definitely have a habit of swinging back, it's probably my biggest downfall.
Yeah. But that's fun. I mean, I don't blame you. And if I was standing next to you when you did that, I would just, still keep talking to you and hang out. So I don't think it's bad.
I can be very oblivious and have no idea that someone's completely making fun of me to my face until like in the ride home later, which is good.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
Any more thoughts for this lovely woman?
Nope.
All right, next call.
Hey, Mom, this is Caitlin. I just had a quick question. Is it okay to drink wine when you're by yourself? When is that not okay? When do you become an alcoholic? Because sometimes I want to just sit at home and drink red wine. I don't think I'm an alcoholic, but I don't want to be one. So thoughts on that? Bye.
Girl, even maybe have a cookie or a scoop of ice cream. Who knows? Of course it's fine.
It's definitely fine.
What do you do? What do you do? How much do you drink at home alone, Scotty?
I used to drink home alone a lot more, but I still drink home alone all the time. I love having a drink. So
yeah, I do too. No shame in that game. I actually prefer it.
Yeah.
I would rather drink alone than with other people because I don't trust them.
Me too.
And yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll just get just a wild hair and just go, I'm just sitting here and getting drunk and having fun, and it's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
What I unfortunately wind up doing is I love it for like too many days in a row, and then I'm like, dude, I'm just day drinking for no reason because I work from home.
It's great.
And so I'm just shit faced by 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So that I'm working on curtailing a little bit, but I would say that maybe you have an issue when when you're me, and you're in that place. But
no, but that's definitely great. Come home and drink a couple glasses of wine. That's awesome. Drink a bottle.
It's very It's very European. Red wine as well. It's great that you're not drinking shitty Moscato wine
Plus,
by
she's
yourself.
sweet. You can tell that's a sweet person for even asking that question.
Very sweet person.
Even thinking of it proves that that's a nice
you're
person.
self-aware enough to know when it would become a problem.
She made her high school boyfriend wait like 2 years to have sex.
Yeah. And it was sort of worth it.
Totally.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What's the girliest drink you've ever had or ordered?
Had as any of them, and ordered. I got a pina colada in San Diego like 2 weekends ago.
That's a great drink.
Loved it.
You were a bartender, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say like are the signs, the marks of an alcoholic when you're at a bar, when you're working a bar? Besides the fact that they drink a lot.
Yeah, speed.
Yeah, they just kind of like, whoop,
that's actually interesting.
like movie alcoholics are always just like they drink it so fast.
I think it's when you like hide drinks. I think it's like when you're hiding drinks. So like you'll order a drink and then they'll order another drink. So they kind of they're finishing one while they have another one, and they'll kind of like bang one out in the bathroom. Like you can just tell when people are hiding drinks, or like people that bring flasks while they're also drinking. There's a lot. But most of like the day drinkers that were like functional alcoholics.
Yeah.
They come in, shaky and shitty and tired, and they don't have energy until they drink. So that's like another thing. You're tired. Even if you're drinking coffee, it's like you've had 3 drinks and then suddenly you're wide awake. That's usually a pretty good sign.
Right.
That they're drinking 7 days a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but... And that's it. But it also is like, I find that alcoholics have their drink to like, your question is like, some people only want to drink one thing. And like real alcoholics, there was a guy in Brooklyn that used to drink half a pint of Coke and then fill the rest with red wine. And he said his mom used to give him that to him when he was a kid.
Thing,
yeah, Black Tony or whatever his name was. And he would do that all day.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have a special thing that you only drink, sometimes that... I would see that with those guys. Nobody's switching it up.
Yeah. That's why I've always been kind of blown away by Ramona Singer on Real Housewives of New York, because she is like a Pinot drunk, and she drinks Pinot Grigio all the time. And Pinot's such like kind of a sweet wine in my mind that I can't imagine drinking. For me, it's like when I was really soaking myself in white wine, I had to go to Sauvignon Blanc because everything else was just like eating candy all day. It becomes disgusting. I'm shocked that she's been able to drink several bottles of Pinot a week for however many years she has.
Yeah, that's a good red flag. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
She's great.
Yeah, you're fine. You're adorable,
Yes.
actually. All right, next call.
Hi, Malls. First off, I just want to say I'm really excited. I'm a first-time caller, and I just recently started listening to you guys.
and I'm a little nervous, but I definitely listen to you guys every day. It's what gets me through work. I am having a situation with my current boyfriend. Just to give you a little backstory, I moved from New Jersey to Wisconsin just under a year ago, and I lived in New Jersey for about 8 years, 4 of which I was dating a woman, and I guess that kind of complicates things for me because my current situation, being in the Midwest, it's hard for people to understand a bisexual woman sometimes. So anyway, I moved back to Wisconsin and met a really great guy. At first, I wasn't employed, so it was really easy to spend a ton of time together, definitely build a great foundation. But then I got a job, and it got more difficult because he works at night, and I work during the day. So I am having some issues with the communication, and I know part of it is that he's a guy, and I feel like in some ways I'm kind of projecting my previous relationship on him because women are more emotive and more quick to respond and tell me, you know, I'm pretty, I love you, that kind of thing. And I know he's really a manly man and doesn't really go for emotions all the time. So I guess my question for you is if you have any advice on approaching communication with a guy, or maybe I'm just being silly and making too much of a big deal out of it. I don't know, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Please advise.
Dude, what do you think?
I think schedule is underappreciated in importance in relationships. People don't talk about that enough, but I think it's tough.
Schedule equality is very important.
Yeah, people don't really say that too much, but it's actually a huge, to me, could be a deal breaker because it's like you can't just quit your job, or you know, most people just can't quit their job and switch it up. So if you're not seeing each other, that's bad. That's real bad.
The fact that he seems to, I think that's actually a borderline like abusive trait. If he is, because that's very common. A woman would rarely hold against a guy the fact that he has to go to work. In fact, if you were unemployed and if your boyfriend was unemployed and you got a job, I think most people would be pretty happy.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's kind of holding it against you, that you have to be at work, or maybe it's falling on you, the responsibility of this new tense schedule. I think that's dick.
Yeah.
I just say dump. I always say if you're like at this point where you're like, just dump them.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be this difficult. And you know, I don't know if you want like one giant long processing conversation of a relationship, if that's what you're talking about in terms of like womanly communication, or if this guy just is kind of falling short for you and you're trying to make it work because let's face it, I would say the dating pool is probably quickly narrowed when you move from New Jersey to Wisconsin.
Yes, very different. But yeah, and if you can't see a change in sight at all, like, do you want to just spend years with this schedule where you just don't see each other? It seems like pull the plug.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah.
I don't know.
As a straight dude, do you think you feel like you have a hard time kind of like appreciate or like showing affection or like verbally complimenting like the women that you're with?
I think I'm pretty good about that, actually.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good about that.
I feel like that's a common complaint amongst my like lady friends is that they don't guys don't put enough planning into dates or they don't compliment them enough, and it's not
what
like
I have a problem with is like the slowdown on it. Like I think that if you overset the expectation and then the natural drop off is just and like, you know, if we've been dating for, you know, X amount of time and you haven't told me I'm pretty in 4 months, that's a problem. Like if it's been like 6 months since you brought me flowers, yeah, that's a problem.
It just made me think of a common call that like Dan Savage gets is that there's been like significant drop in like blowjobs during the course of a straight relationship. So I was just wondering if there was a correlation between that and straight men.
Not in my house, but I mean, I also don't. I mean, it's different. See, here's the thing. I try very hard to always make sure that the few people in my life that I care about feel appreciated. I'll also bust your balls really hard, but I will make sure that for the most part, people in my life feel appreciated. So I don't like not feeling appreciated by the people I make time for. I know it's probably the Capricorn in me. What about what did you answer this question, or am I just?
I think she should get out of it because if that schedule's permanent, this problem's not going to go away. But I compliment the whole way through, and I actually had like a weird thing a few years ago where like I'd been in a relationship for a long time, and it started off really strong and then kind of faded, and then I like just made this weird decision where I was like, I'm just going to do everything I can to be like my best boyfriend to her. And like killed it for like 5 months because I knew it was dead. So I was just trying to save it. But it made me realize that I'd been slacking off for probably a year, maybe more. But then to feel the reverse was kind of awesome. So I don't know. I think whatever relationship I get in next will be like, I'll just stay plugged in longer. Maybe forever, hopefully. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I think life gets difficult. Just, when you wake up with fucking shit to do every day.
Yeah.
It's hard to be appreciative.
Yeah, and you guys get comfortable with your routines and each other, and it's like you don't really have to try as hard because you know that person loves you, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in a lot
I
of
just like look at
relationships.
my dog like probably 20 times a day and think he's so cute. And like that's the thing that I feel is like, oh, I'm so glad that even though you're such a pain in the ass and I have to work right now and I have to take you for a walk and you like demand on sitting on me, he's so cute, so it doesn't matter. Okay, this is your appreciated iTunes comment of the week. This is you gotta be parentheses listening to this podcast 5 stars by NADROJHTURXUELEL. Anyone who says this pod is anything other than wonderful is a subpar person and needs to take a good look in the mirror and face their own truth. Malls is everything you should aspire to be.
Oh, yeah.
Not because she's a successful writer and internet person, but also, but because she embraces her faults with a raw honesty and beauty that is so rare to truly find in anyone, while offering fab advice to boot. If you love yourself, listen to this pod. Was this review helpful? It was so helpful. I'm dropping the phone. Thank you so much, you guys. I have a new iPhone, and I went into my iPhone and I opened up my podcast app and I rated my own damn podcast because you want to know what? I'm not stupid, and I don't think you are either. So I think you should go into your iTunes store, look for Please Advise, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, leave a comment. We'll read it on the show. You are so great. Many consonants, whatever your name was. All right, we have a letter. Scotty's going to read it.
Here we go. Hi, Molly. I'm a 29-year-old straight female living in Seattle. I would love your advice. My family situation is complicated. Basically, I was in foster care for 3 years because my parents were drug addicts. Eventually, my mother died and my grandparents adopted me. I love my grandparents, but their house has always been a very stressful environment for me. When I was underage, my mentally ill and terrifying uncle lived there, and the cops were called on a regular basis. It was chaotic. Now I'm an adult and living in a great neighborhood with my boyfriend. Because I grew up in chaos, I try to live as calmly and fun as possible. I take Prozac, practice hot yoga, eat organic, socially smoke weed, drink, read, just do things that make me happy. But my father is dying and I need to say goodbye and let him know that he is loved and appreciated. The house is still very stressful. My heroin-addicted piece of shit cousin lives there. My grandfather shits and pisses himself in the living room, and my grandmother is regularly having emotional breakdowns. What I would like your help with is figuring out a way to visit my grandparents, bring positivity to them, and leave without crying the entire drive home. I would also like a way to say goodbye to a man that likes to be left alone. I'll say that again. I would also like a way to say goodbye to a man that likes to be left alone, avoid emotions, and is in completely vulnerable position without making him any more uncomfortable. That might have been my fault reading that. I know it's kind of deep, but you know about real shit. So any suggestions would be appreciated. Thanks, Jen.
So I'm thinking like blowjob.
Blow the guy.
She should blow her dying father. I mean, look, I don't know.
He won't remember it.
I don't know. I didn't say goodbye to my dying father. What would you do?
I mean, That was a nice letter she just wrote. Can she write her grandfather a letter? I don't know if it's... Or was it father?
It's her father's dying, but her grandfather is pretty much a decaying mess.
He's right there too.
Yeah.
And her father was the one that was, he was a drug addict why she wound up in foster care. So that's probably obvious. I mean, I think it's really nice she wants to say goodbye to him. I think maybe you could write him a letter like you just kind of did.
This is way outside of my depths, but... I mean, if you want to say something, it seems like she has to say what she wants to say, even if it's going to fall on an emotionally unavailable person.
Yeah. If you feel you need to say it out loud, do you feel like that? Does that really make you feel better? I like to say things in writing.
I'm definitely a writer.
Yeah. I
definitely would write something.
I don't even know how to talk to people really out loud.
Yeah.
So I'm usually like, can I just write this?
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you. What do you think, girl?
You know, when I was 20 years old, my aunt died while she was shopping for Christmas presents on like December 23rd. And like a couple weeks prior, I was just really busy with college. It was like my junior year of college and I was in finals and I kept putting off seeing her. And I knew I was going to see her at Christmas and I was going to give her a Christmas present that I never gave her because she died. But one of the biggest regrets that I've had to this day was not telling her that I loved her enough. And had I known that she was going to die, I knew that I would go and let her know. And I know she knew that I loved her, but I needed to say it. So I think however painful it is for you to be in that house, I think it's going to be okay because your father's probably going to be in a bedroom somewhere. So you can just go straight to the bedroom and see your father and say what you have to say. Even if it is difficult, you'll have that last moment that a lot of people don't get to have with someone that they love. And just kind of spend time. And you don't have to, make it some grand speech that you have to say. It's just a matter of like holding his hand from the last time, looking into his eyes for the last time and just saying, I love you. And then you can leave the house without having to talk to anyone else and just say, you know what, that was really hard for me. I'm going to go home now. I hope you all are doing okay. Talk to your grandparents if you want to say goodbye to them, even though they're not emotional people. And, just know that you have a time that a lot of people don't have and that you should maybe take it to your advantage, however emotionally difficult that may be.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say I feel, and thank you for sharing that, because I know that that's a sensitive thing for you. But I want to say I feel for her because this is bullshit. I would feel very angry that I have to be the adult to this extent in a situation with my own parents and my own family. So I feel for you in that regard because that sucks. Like that really blows that you were robbed of that experience. And yet it's like, I mean, trust me, I have those dynamics in my own life. And it's very frustrating when you can't just be the fucking kid. Like it really sucks. So, yeah, I'm sorry you're dealing with that. And, please update us. Let us know how it goes. 323-450-7408. Let's take our next call.
Hey, Malls and crew. This is Danny. I'm 26 from Southern California, and I got caught off like a total moron on my last message, so I'm going to make this the Reader's Digest version of my question. So basically, my question is about cussing. Like I said, I'm 26. I'm a stylist and blogger. I'm a creative gal. I recently launched a website almost 6 months ago, and it's been very successful beyond what I was anticipating was possible, and it's almost to the point where I'm supporting myself completely with this, which is awesome, dreams coming true, whatever. Sad part is that I am currently working a side job that I absolutely hate. I mean, I won't even go into detail. It's not worth it. Everyone's boss is a moron. Everyone deals with bullshit at their bullshit job. That's totally fine. Basically, just looking for a little bit of Mal's words of real talk wisdom to get through a shit job and keep on keeping on. Please advise. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
So I did hear, just adding a producer's note here, in her original message, she was asking, because she's kind of on the cusp of success with her blog, and she's not quite there yet to give up her job to do her blogging full time. So that's really...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's okay, good. All right, that's what I thought.
So she wants to stick it out while advice on that.
Well, Scotty, what do you have to say about this?
I would quit that job for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If your job just is killing you, you got to get out of there. And I know it's hard to save money to get freedom.
Right.
But if she's close, I've never heard anybody say cusping before like that.
I
either.
know. That's why I was kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
But if she's close or making some money, I don't know. My battle plan would be just save like crazy for 2 months and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I go back to, I'm very pragmatic about this shit, and I just I really feel that it's not you got to keep working because you're not entitled to this. You're not, you will either have this happen or not. But one way or the other, you got to pay your rent, and it's nice to go take a dive for your dreams or whatever. But maybe you're cusping, or maybe you've peaked. I don't know. So I think you should stay at work, and you should continue to do your website. I don't know how bad your job is killing you, but I do know, especially at your age, you've been doing bitch jobs. So for several years, she's 26, so she's been only in the bitch position. Now she's getting a little bit taste of that boss life.
Yeah.
And I see an error that a lot of people make around this time, where it's that they're on their verge to not need the system anymore. You still need the system. Don't diss the system. People who think that they're past the point of struggling or having to try for things, no.
Right.
And I've actually had great successes in my life, and then wind up a year and a half later fucking broke, and what's going to happen in my life. And then my own website sold last week. So these things happen in waves, and when you least expect. I had $12 today, and my website sold, by the way, you guys. I took a picture of it. I had negative $7 in my Bank of America, so I guess I didn't even have $12.
That's great.
I'll show you the screen grab. It's really
That's
funny.
Great. You're right, but it could be a lateral move. I think she should still get out of that job, even if it's a sidestep into the same job, different environment. But you're right. You got to keep working.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. And whenever you could start to get comfortable.
Get fucked. Yeah,
anyway,
that's true.
All right, next call. Sorry, I'm mean. I'm the mean parent, but I don't have
Just
a problem with that.
Just say happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, bitch. I
There
know
you
this
go.
is such a spooky episode. We're laughing about this. Ooh, foster care.
Happy Halloween.
Next call.
Hey, Malls. My name's Rachel. I'm 28. I live in Atlanta. I'm about to take my first grown-up trip to LA with my boyfriend. And, of course, he brought up your podcast because he knows that I listen to it religiously. Anyhow, what should we do? Where should we go? Tell us about your city. Thank you.
Rachel's on one.
All right.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, she's cool.
What would you do?
We might have talked about this. Is such a hard city to do anything besides go to restaurants and bars, and that's the LA thing. I don't send people to the museums.
Right. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When I go to another city, I don't want to go hiking at whatever their version of Griffith Park is.
No, not at all.
I don't want to pack sneakers. I don't want to be I don't want to. People say Runyon. It's a 15-minute walk, and if the workout gear you're gonna have to pack for that 15-minute walk, it's not worth it. Go get a juice. Go try juices.
Yeah,
juice is very popular
Hollywood.
here. I'm going to this place called The Springs next week with my friend Katie. It's a wellness center that has yoga and all sorts of shit. Gwyneth Paltrow supposedly goes there. It's a very celeb centric place. You can go get some raw food and do douchey LA shit like that. Go
Bars and restaurants. Just go do the thing. Where do you like right now? Everybody will say go to Bestia, so make a reservation now.
To where?
Bestia.
Oh, I've never,
downtown.
no.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
I don't know what I like right now.
Great.
My favorite restaurant in LA has always been Taylor's in Koreatown.
Oh yeah, that's the shit. Go to Taylor's in Koreatown. It's a steakhouse. It's not Korean at all.
My table is table number 10, and
go eat at Mall's table.
Yes, and get the Molly salad, and it's the most fun. I love it.
Go down to Redondo Beach. Go to Old Tony's. It's a bar. Sit upstairs, get a fireman. It's a very good drink. Sit out there. It's beautiful.
Oh, and when you go to Koreatown too, you should go to the Prince.
Yep.
And HMS Bounty. Those are fun bars around there. You can also go tons of karaoke.
Park Korean Barbecue on Vermont is great.
They went there on Vanderpump Rules.
It's a weird city because you like in New York, you just go to Grand Central, go see the Empire State Building, go to see the Statue of Liberty, go to MoMA, go to here. We have museums, but go to the beach, hang out.
Yeah. Santa Monica. If you want that really touristy experience, go to
Venice
Santa Monica.
will hit you with that. The Venice Boardwalk will hit you with that, and then there's like cute stuff in town. I don't know where you're staying though.
That's true.
If you don't have a car, forget it.
Yeah,
like, just where you should stay with. You should look up what's in your area.
We cannot emphasize this enough. Like LA is a very spread out city, and you absolutely need a car to get around.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something people underestimate a lot.
No, I remember I took like a 3-hour walk when I first moved here, and it was from Fairfax in Wilshire to Sunset and Vine, and like everyone was like, "You did what?" And I was like, "What?" Like, because that's I was just used to walking East Coast style. But it's weird because now that I live here, it's not that big of a distance I spanned that day.
No. We got to give her one thing. What's one thing she can do? A couple.
There's
gotta be something.
There's a color me mine in the valley.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's right.
We've all lived in LA for more than 5 years, and we're struggling.
It's like go to Joshua Tree. Go look at that.
Get
That's
out of
different
town.
than Atlanta. Yeah. Atlanta's cool. There's stuff. So yeah, go to Sequoia National Park. That's close.
Go to the valley and drive around and look at the Back to the Future houses. Go drive around, look at the Brady Bunch house, do that shit.
I do love Griffith Park. I know it's like, but you don't have to hike. There's other things to do in Griffith Park.
Yeah.
So like the observatory is really cool. And
Death Valley. You should go drive out to
go to the observatory. You'll have a nice time.
The Getty Museum's pretty cool.
People love the Getty.
Yeah.
You can do mushrooms at Griffith Park too.
Yeah, do drugs.
Yeah.
I would do.
Come to LA and do drugs.
Go to the Hollywood Bowl, do some drugs. It's a great week.
Yeah, actually you should see a show too. You should take advantage of the fact that we are kind of Atlanta is as well, but like a hub for entertainment. And there's
check out some stuff at Largo or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. You're 28. Like you sound a little too savvy to like take a studio tour or something like that.
Cool.
So
she seemed cool.
Rachel, getting it. All right. Have fun, guys. All right. We're going to do some table topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a party game. Okay, Scotty. How much would you pay to slam dunk? How much would you pay to be able to slam dunk?
Like consistently, I can slam dunk whenever I want?
I think so.
$100,000.
Really?
Sure.
And would you use it at parties and stuff?
Anytime I was near a basketball hoop, I would slam something.
Well, you could probably make a lot of money back.
Yeah.
By doing that. So you could make your 100,000 back pretty easily.
I'd be like, I bet I can dunk over there. And they'd be like, no, you can't. And I would just destroy it.
Wait. Yeah. Just so the listeners can get a visual, how tall are you?
6'3". I should
you
be
are
able
pretty
to.
tall. I know.
Yeah.
Why can't you?
I don't know.
Why can't you dunk?
I can. There's this funny thing that happens around dudes my age where they'll brag about what they can do basketball while, and people will be like, I can still get rim. Or somebody will be like, I can dunk a tennis ball. And you're like, why are we talking about it? I can touch net or backboard. And it's like, no, it's done. That dream's done. Let that one go.
If a guy said to me you could still get rim, I would have no clue what he was talking about, and I would assume the worst.
I can still get rim.
What's the poorest you've ever been?
$80 in my bank account.
But what did that look like for you? Like, what were you eating?
Oh, I was eating. Sorry, that was a bad answer.
No, it's fine. No, it's a very honest
I was living
answer.
in Brooklyn with a roommate, and I would go and buy 2 dozen eggs. I would buy 3 jars of spaghetti, pasta, sort of sauce, and then and I would eat 2 or 3 eggs for breakfast, and then a bowl of spaghetti for dinner for weeks at a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually the dude equivalent of what I would do. I just like get a bag of carrots and a thing of hummus and eat that slowly over a week.
Yeah.
And then I also would get a thing of English muffins, and I would like jazz up my English muffins all
It's the
week.
same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they did dumplings in Chinatown in New York that were 50 for $8 frozen. And so I would buy 2 bags of frozen dumplings and eat dumplings 3 meals a day at my peak.
Dumplings are the jam.
Oh, I was very happy.
Yeah, you made it work. This is a good Halloween question.
Great.
What's the most scared you've ever been?
When I was pretty young, we would all throw eggs and stuff at cars, and we threw eggs and shot this one car with paintballs and rocks, and it was sparking. We hit it with so much stuff, and the guy whipped it around and pulled back in this yard, and we all started running, and I hid. I was like 11, and all the older kids just took off, and I was hidden very well, but I saw him get out of his car with I was like, is it a shotgun? Is it a golf club? Something over his shoulder, and just find everybody one at a time and yanked them up to the house. And I made a run for it. But I remember I thought he was going to shoot us. I didn't get caught though, but that was my most scared probably.
That's serious bad boy shit.
Yeah.
That's actually real. I can't imagine you vandalizing something.
I got it all out of my system. Yeah. We used to throw, we'd put 3 or 4 eggs in each hand and then hit trucks with 4 or 5 dozen eggs at a time.
Wow.
It was cool. Probably the best night of my life. Yeah.
I
never
have
felt
a follow-up
so alive.
question.
Sure.
What's the drunkest you've ever been?
In New Orleans, my buddy had
that sounds accurate for most people too.
She had a bachelorette party, and my buddy who is her best friend was like, let's get a party bus, let's drink a 5-hour energy, let's take an Adderall, let's go for this. So we all did, and then we drank, I don't know, 20 or 30 drinks over the next 5 or 6 hours, and then I blacked out, which I never really do. And the next morning I went down to the lobby to get a hair of the dog, and the bartender goes, hey, it's a beef top beef. And I went, what? And she goes, beef top beef, right? And I go, I guess so. And then she's like, you don't remember? I go, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. She goes, you really don't remember being here? I was like, was I here all night? She goes, yeah, you guys rolled in at 2 and drank till we closed. And then I was like, oh. And she's like, then you went over to that bar and closed that bar. You guys, and I figured out who was there with me through her. And I go, well, what do you mean beef top beef? She goes, that's all you said for 4 hours. And then so my other friends joined me for hair of the dog. And they were like, beef top beef. And I was like, so tell me. And they were like, we got in the cab at midnight. And from midnight till 6 a.m., the only thing I would say to anybody was beef top beef. To the point where I checked into my own hotel room. And when I was walking out after the hair of the dog, the guys working there went, beef top beef. And so I tipped, I ordered rounds, I told the cabbie, anybody that would ask me any question or anything, I would say beef top beef and start cracking up. And they said it got funny again after 4 hours. But yeah, for whatever that is, 6 or 7 hours straight, I only said the words beef top beef, which means nothing to me in my life. All night to everyone. Checked in, they gave me a room. New Orleans is cool because they continued serving me all the way through the night. Fell asleep with my keys, my wallet, everything. Didn't lose a thing, but did only respond beef top beef all night. So that was 3 years ago.
I love that story so much.
Yeah, so I can top it, but that's my drunkest. But I don't remember it. Yeah, so
that's amazing. Having waking up the next day to an entire legend that you don't remember is pretty amazing.
Like the bellhop, the guys holding the door, and they were doing it like a catchphrase, like hey, if I was, yeah, right. It's like it was so amazing. That it's like if MC Hammer walked by and they were like, you can't touch this. So I'm walking by and they're like, beef top beef. And so I just got to the point where I was just waving and it's me. I should have just kept saying it and kept some Tourette's thing going, but yeah. And so that was the W in New Orleans, which is no longer there. But yeah, for 8 hours, I only responded with that.
Oh my God. That is so funny to me. Okay, which fictional character would you adopt into your extended family to make gatherings more interesting?
I mean, Patrick Bateman, I guess.
Patrick Bateman?
Yeah.
You
That
really
would
like? You
spice it
think you
up.
would like? You don't think you'd try to have sex with your cousins and then murder them?
Yeah, I mean, but that would
Or
get us talking.
he would just talk to you about 80s music
Yeah,
for like
which I love.
an hour.
Yeah, he's got great taste in music. Yeah, Patrick Bateman,
Patrick Bateman has a very sexy getting ready routine.
shredded.
Yeah, he's very. I mean, it really bums me out how attracted I am to him every time I watch that movie.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been conned?
Yes.
What happened?
I needed a roommate in New York when I was broke, and I put an ad up on MySpace back in the day, and I got a response and I got totally catfished by a British woman that was not really a British woman. It was a African man, and ended up sending $1,500 worth of checks because I was getting checks in the mail and then cashing them, and then they would call and be like, "Hey, can you send 600 of that back over here so I can ship a mattress?" And I was like, "Sure." So I did that when I was like, I think I was 24, so about 10 years ago. So I had $2,000 in the bank total, richest I'd ever been by far my whole life, and I think I burned like 15 or 1,600 of it in like 3 days, not knowing. And then the guy at Western Union, finally, this dude was like, "Do you know this person?" I was like, "No." And he goes, "I highly, highly, highly recommend you don't send this money." And I'm getting like texts and emails being like, "Hey, hurry, we're waiting for that money."
Oh yeah.
So I got fucked. And it was before it was on 2020 and all that shit. And so I lost all my money.
You know, there's that like. Have you heard that story of the vigilantes on online that it was on This American Life?
Yes.
It's pretty cool, right?
Love them.
I mean, it's crazy though when you think about. So basically, they're just like it's like anonymous, but specifically for getting back at Nigerian con artists, and they basically have decided they figure out a way to con the con artists by saying like, "Hey, I'm a dumb American, and like I have all this money, and I need help." Like basically, they did a reverse scam on them.
Did you ever hear the textbook one? That's the best one.
No.
It's the real short version is a guy got one of those emails and he was about to get scammed, realized what was going on, then switched it and was like, "Hey, I don't know what you're into, but I just got paid $1,000 to type this textbook."
Oh, right.
That one. And then so he had like 15 guys over there just typing word for word textbook stuff and never sent them checks. So then he just had like a classroom full of men typing textbooks.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just flipped it on him.
I mean, some of the stories were actually pretty scary because like when you're over there and you're setting up a con like that, rules are a little different.
Yeah.
So like there's people basically like, "I'm going to fucking murder you if you don't get me this money." So it's like, I don't know if anyone died as a result of that, but the stakes are definitely higher over there than they are here.
Happy Halloween, you know.
Boo.
Boo.
What secrets will you keep from your children?
I'm sure a lot. God.
Do you think you'll like? Did your parents tell you if they smoked pot or not?
They didn't tell me, but I also don't know how much they did.
Right.
I feel like they didn't. So like maybe any, but I don't know. I'm not going to be that closed off. I actually also don't think I'm going to have kids. So
right.
But if hypothetical kids, I'd probably hide stuff like drug use or I don't know. I'm not too ashamed of anything like that. Maybe beef. I might not drop that on them until they're 18, but no. I don't know.
My stepdad exploded his stomach shotgunning like 40 beers in college.
Whoa.
Yeah. But I mean, that was like, if anything, it was a fun cautionary tale in our family that you actually could do that.
Yeah. I guess the normal things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely no sexy stuff.
Yeah, probably not.
Want to know how many people I fucked before your mom?
I won't tell my kids how many people I've slept with. That's a good one. Yeah, I won't.
All right. Well, Scotty, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It was very, very fun to have you
on.
Great. And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Where can people find you?
How about just on Twitter is fine. Marilyn Mudflap on Twitter. And Workaholics, I do a conning catfishing episode this season called Gone Catfishing, where Blake gets catfished.
I actually liked that title. I saw him when you posted. I was like, that's a clever title.
Well, by God.
How many episodes have you written?
3. Just 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's a fun room, obviously.
It's the best. Yeah. It's a great gig.
You wouldn't be able to say even if it wasn't.
No, but I think it's probably one of the best rooms.
That's great.
We work great hours. We don't scream at each other. It's great. We just try to make each other laugh.
That's good. The laughter's still there.
God, after all these years,
Yeah. No, season 3 of Two Broke Girls, we didn't laugh.
We laugh a lot. We bust on each other a lot.
Yeah,
good.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks so much for being here. This is Please Advise. Call 323-450-7408 if you want to have your question on the show. You can also email us at askpleaseadvise@gmail.com with a letter or a voice note. We love voice notes because the audio quality is really good. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Just search for PLZ Advise. Also, check us out on soundcloud.com/pleaseadvise. Subscribe on iTunes and find me. I'm at Malls. All right, bye, guys.